servant. So how good is it really? Right?
True.
It's very, very complex.
Yeah. Well, and this is classism, right?
Yeah.
This is the crux of it. It's very complex. So then we see that Akeem and Simeon have decided to wear regular clothes. And so then they go and they get all of this like gear that makes them look completely like tourists. They got buttons all on their jackets and stuff like this.
I feel like a complete idiot.
Oh, do not be ridiculous.
And then we get to see the infamous Soul Glo commercial.
Bruh.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine.
That's so amazing. That's probably one of the most iconic parts of the movie.
Just let your soul, baby.
And the reason why it's so funny is if you didn't live through that time, you're not going to understand that everybody and their mama had a Jerry curl.
Bruh.
And in the 80s. And now it's getting to be the late 80s. That style is starting to go out of style, right? And so you have people who want to make fun of Jerry curls and stuff. Because maybe at this point, like still fewer people were wearing Jerry curls. It was like, you know, Ice Cube and, members of NWA.
I don't know. This was still pretty early. This might have been one of the first jokes, I think.
Well, maybe it was one of the first jokes, but the joke is funny because the tides are starting to turn on the hairstyle. That's why the joke is funny, because it really was kind of hard, you know, to maintain that style because, you know, you had to keep it lubricated and you had curl juice and activator and it was greasy and you messing up pillowcases. Did you have a curl? No.
No, I didn't.
I will not lie. I wanted a curl. I knew kids at school who had a curl. My mama was not getting ready to pay for me to go, and she the reason I couldn't get a curl, not only because of the chemicals, but mainly because there was no way she was paying for the maintenance.
My hair was curly until my mama cut it off.
Shut up.
No, but for real though, my curls were a lot looser than they are now.
Yeah, I mean, but your hair looks like a Jerry curl when you wet it, quite frankly.
Yeah, but there were bigger curls, is my point. But anyway, yeah, so I didn't get to have one, and I used to try to put activator in there so it could look more like a Jerry curl, but that never really worked.
It didn't take...
Because my daddy hair just looked like a Jerry curl with those tighter curls, like that. But in the early 90s, I believe it was the early 90s, the Dukes and S curls got popular, right? So then it was more trying to get curly, I guess.
And then at one point, so when people had the Jerry curl, they didn't have the curl cut into a style in the beginning. Then when the Dukes and all of that started to, I think, become more popular, then people would be putting a processed curl, some type of chemical treatment to their hair, but they would also have it cut.
Because you had a box or something, right?
So they would have it cut into a hairstyle and have this chemical in the top
to look like, I can't think of somebody off top, but there's some actors who, your boy, the dark-skinned guy who's still doing it.
Who?
The actor.
Blair Underwood.
Yeah.
Blair Underwood I think Blair Underwood has like a straight, regular, perm in his hair. And then he just kind of figured out how to leave it on not as long or something.
Yeah,
or
but
maybe
he still is
like
kind of longer. It's always kind of longer on top with him.
Yes. So they have like a comb through Duke situation. And then if you look at singers from back then, because even like Babyface, he used to have his hair that way in varying styles, so that was kind of coming back into style because, men in I guess it was the 60s maybe, that would be putting, 50s and 60s putting perms in their hair and wearing their hair chemically treated and straightening it.
So a lot could be said from actual hairstyles, and I know there's some video essayists who, if you would actually take the time and do it. So you had where you got the conks, and then you got out of the conks to the afros of the 70s, right? And then you just transition from the afro to the Jerry curl because all you got to do is put these chemicals in there, right? And then
because your hair is already long.
Yeah. And then to come out of that, you can have a high top fade, right? And then just transition right on into the curly top, high top fade, or the kind of lock twist style of the, so to actually go through it and figure it out. But the Soul Glo, the song, is what did it too.
Yeah.
If the song wasn't that good, then it wouldn't have been as iconic.
Yep. And
But
this is what I feel like comedians or people who are trying to do stuff, like if you can't sing and then you try to sing something, it's not nearly as funny as if you can sing and you are just taking it to the bridge with just some ridiculousness, like the Soul Glo commercial.
Yeah. But we kind of talked about how Googling stuff has changed, right? Or how history is changed. So now Rogers, who wrote the song, he had a tiny desk, and then they performed it, but they had a white guy singing it. And then people started to share that as if the white guy was the singer. Like, I was today years old when I found out. How old were you when you found out? But you're wrong. You're giving credit to a white dude who was part of a band in recent times and attribute him with being the singer of the
when he wasn't
Soul Glo
the singer
song.
of the original Soul Glo song. Yeah. I mean, and this is the problem with I think the people who try to research a time period that didn't live through it and then want to try to be an authority on that time period. It's just like right now I see, women in their, especially women like in their 20s, maybe even up as old as early 30s, talking about getting a quote like curly perm or something. Y'all ain't getting nothing but a Jerry curl. That's what it is. And it's a curly so what it is it's this, you're getting this Jerry curl. And okay, I'm gonna just keep it 100. The Jerry curl thing, I mean, the most famous person probably with Jerry curl was like Michael Jackson back in the day. But the Jerry curl thing was like so that you could look like you had, quote, good hair, right? You wanted people to believe that was your natural hair texture. That was part of the, the thing that nobody really 100% says about it as far as the reason a lot of people wanted that style. But of course, everybody looked at it and you knew daggone well that was a Jerry curl. But when what they're doing now, and I mean they have a different name for it, but essentially it's the same thing. It's that you are putting chemicals on and you are putting permanent big curls instead of your smaller curls that are your natural hair texture, right? And you don't want people to know that is a chemical treatment, and you want them to assume that is the texture of your natural hair. That is essentially it. I know y'all probably want to argue me about it in the comments, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah, but what I think they were doing, I don't even think they were trying to research nothing. They seen this and they was like, look, the singer, because he's singing it. Mm-hmm. And to get views too, so we can't put that, forget about that. But there's an article in Rolling Stone that is they title it The Definitive Oral History of Soul Glo, and they interview all the people involved, or a lot of the people involved. And yeah, I guess it's kind of long, but it tells the history of Soul Glo. And Christopher Mack sang the song. So it's a black dude.
Box ever lived. I'll be with you boys in a minute. He was bad in Captain Clay. He bad in Sugar Ray.
So the guys make their way back down to the barbershop because after seeing the Soul Glo commercial, Akeem has decided that, he should get himself a haircut, right? So we see, again, the banter between there
they go. Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got to pull Rocky Marciano out there.
4 guys, 3 of them actually being
Eddie Murphy and
Arsenio, right? And they're still arguing over boxing. And, again, when you watch these older movies, they are giving you a little bit of the context of what the culture was doing and talking about at the time. And so they're arguing over old boxers, but then they even bring up Mike Tyson. They're like, who's that new cat? Mike Tyson.
New boy got Mike Tyson look like a bulldog. He bad at him.
Okay, so Mike Tyson was new at the point that this came out. And so that's just interesting to me because everybody remembers from back in the day, if you were there, how Mike Tyson was just knocking people out in like under a minute. Like folks couldn't even get to their seats and sit down before Mike Tyson had knocked somebody out, So that's one thing. The next thing is just this banter back and forth, the commentary on different sports figures, namely boxers at this point.
Yeah, so the whole thing about these the people in the barbershop going back and forth is what paved the way for the movie Barbershop with Ice Cube. So y'all can question that too, dispute that in the comments.